This is my second try, my second attempt to get the live stream up and running. I probably shouldn't be filming in front of a window, but oh well. This is how I started doing live streams when I was in China during my China trip. And then, so I was hoping to do them when I got back, but I kind of had a hard time after the China trip. It was funny, someone said, oh, Dan's gonna have a hard time when he goes back to the United States, because we were really on a whirlwind tour in China. We loved it, and every day was pretty magical. And, we met so many wonderful people and so much great food. I think some of the food in America is kind of like poison. I don't know. My joint pain went away when I was in China, and I came back, and now 2 months later, my I'm having some joint problems. But and I think it's because I don't know. It's genetically modified food in America. A lot of the wheat and some of the other grains are, and a lot of it's really processed food. But I don't know. So I'm thinking it might be the wheat that my body's not reacting well to. So I'm not sure what it is, but I'm looking forward to having 2 months of Chinese food again, and I'm hoping that I can get back to where I was by the end of my China trip. By the way, before I left for China, I was seeing a chiropractor like a lot, and I had a lower back problem pain almost every time I walked. And when I was in China, Jay took me to these back massage places, and they sometimes they walked on my back, and they would sometimes, this blind guy was like just amazing. He found muscles I never even knew I had. But anyway, by the end of my Chinese trip, I had zero lower back pain. So I don't know if it was from the exercise or because I lost weight, because I'm sure my belly fat was kind of you probably don't want to hear about my belly fat, was affecting I'm going back. Hey Jimmy, thanks for joining that last live stream. It just stopped working. I don't know why. But I'm going back to China right now. It's I think 7 weeks. I'm leaving in 5 weeks. September 10th, I'm leaving. So I think I arrive on September 11th in Shanghai, and then I'm going to Hangzhou like right away. I'm not even spending one night in Shanghai this time. So I'm leaving September 10th. So that's in about 5 weeks. And then I announced yesterday, but the video was kind of bad. I did it when I was driving with Ari. We were going to practice for some songs that we're doing this morning, and but the audio wasn't that great because the car was kind of loud, and I was using Wi-Fi in the car, so it kind of cut out a couple times. So anyway, I'm doing this from my home now, and actually, when I was in China and I started doing live streams, my plan was always to do live streams from right here, and this is the first one that I've done here. So I think we've been back, about 3 months. Well, 2.5 months. And this is the first time that I actually did my plan, which was to do live streams from right here. I've done a few outside. I did one in a hot tub at the at the YMCA, and I've done a couple on location. Hey Daniel, it's nice to see you guys. When I was in China, I would do them in the morning also, but so it was 12 hours. It's basically a 12-hour difference. So a lot of you guys are able to watch the live stream at a later time whenever you can, wherever you're at. But for me, it's always fun to read the comments of the actual live stream. So I realized that this will be maybe a different set of people when it's in the morning in America, depending on where they are in the world, than I was used to in China. But really, the morning is the best time for me to do a live stream. So I think I'm just going to have to go with it and see what happens. I usually like to have a little bit of a plan. My plan yesterday was to announce some new news about my China trip in September. Well, I leave September 10th, but and this time I mean, I might film the kind of the trip because it's just kind of it's fun because I'm traveling alone this time. Lynette's not able to come on this trip. She's going to be with our youngest daughter May May and her newborn, and they're going to be traveling to Tennessee, and they're going to see some weddings and do some stuff. So it'll just be me alone in China on this trip, and so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm most excited. Hey Daniel, yeah, I'm coming to China in September 11th, 9/11. I'll be landing in Shanghai. So, and then I announced it yesterday, but I don't know if any of you guys saw that because it was kind of choppy. I was driving with Art. She was driving and I was doing the live stream, but I watched it back and the video and audio wasn't that great. But anyway, so on this trip, solo travel, Jimmy. So on this trip, I'm going to Hong Kong as well. So I'll be going to mainland China, and in the middle, I'll be going to Hong Kong, and then at the end, I'll be back in China again. And I'm speaking at a college in Hainan. At the beginning, at the end, if they get permissions, I'll be speaking to a class, doing a class in Dr. Leo's college if he gets permissions. But either way, that's who I'll be seeing at the beginning of my trip and the end of my trip. So that's really cool. Yeah, that's my update, and it's too early for live stream for LA. Yeah, I know it is. LA is 2 hours earlier. So what time is it here? I think it's maybe 6. So I mean, it'd be 4 a.m. in LA. I mean, maybe I'll try to do it a little bit later, but I know there's also some viewers in Asia, and so they're about 12 or 13 hours later. So I don't know. There's nothing I can do. Maybe you can't watch it live. If you come to Hong Kong, then to Macau, that's interesting. It's only a 1 hour ferry ride to Macau. 4:45 a.m. in California, so it must be 6:45 a.m. then I'm in Kansas City right now. Wow, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, right now, everyone, I've only, I was first invited to 7:46 p.m. And so, Jimmy, you must be in China, I'm guessing then. 7:46. Oh, no, you're only 12 hours later, so maybe it's only 6:46 here. Yeah, and then 4:46. Okay, it must be 6:46 here. Hi, Jimmy. I tried it, but I forgot where. So anyway, the whole trip. I really, as soon as I left, I wanted to go back. In fact, I wanted to stay longer. Good morning, Tommy. I wanted to stay longer, but it just didn't work out. And we've been there about 2 months, and it was time to come back. And also, we didn't want Lynette to have to travel alone, because Jane already stayed longer in China than when Lynette and I came back. So I came back and traveled with her. But then at Jay's wedding, I got to talking to a guy actually that was in his wedding, Nathan from Italy, and he's actually a professor with a cultural exchange, from a Italian college university to a Chinese university, and so he talks about how long for this trip, about 6 or 7 weeks. So it was what is planned right now, and so we got to talking, and I got to sharing because I used to, after I was a musician for 10 or a professional musician for until my early 30s, all through my 20s, and then my early 30s. But I was always self-employed, and so if I wasn't doing music, I'd paint houses, do production stuff, all different, whatever I could. I probably, in America, the life of a musician is you just do a lot of different things. But I was always self-employed until I got hired. I think I was maybe around 42 or something like that by a division of Sony BMG Records, and I was the international sales and marketing director. So I traveled around. Um, I think I set up about 32 tours for other artists, not myself, and I traveled around doing sales conference and sales and marketing and meetings. Uh, I'm gonna say, well, I mean, I wound up visiting probably, yeah, another 30 countries or so while I was the international sales and marketing director. So I learned a lot of tricks. And so, like when I'd go and I'd see how much, this is back when they sold CDs. So this is, I don't know, I guess 20 years ago. So when I'd go to a new country, I would always go in, one of the first things I'd do is I'd go into a grocery store and I would look at the price of rice if I was in Asia, or bread if I was in Western, or eggs, things that I knew that that country ate as what we call a staple. So that's the kind of food that they pretty much eat every day or every week. So when I could figure out, because you have to have food to eat, so I would figure out the price of the food. Thank you. I would figure out the price of the food, and I would compare that to the CDs. And so in some countries, yeah, there was no internet back then. So in fact, I think if there had been internet back then, I'd probably still be a full-time musician. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, and I like doing. I like making videos. I just like anything that's kind of creative and anything that kind of tells a story. Because for me, what I loved about music was the storytelling in a kind of a poetic way. And really, for me, editing videos is a creative way to tell stories. And then, it's just very involved, filming and everything. I love the live streams because this for me is like doing concerts, because I get immediate feedback. I mean, it's not 100% the same, but it's similar in that I get feedback by reading your comments. So I really like that. So going back to, so anyway, so I learned a few tricks about, and I would research each country that I would visit. And so I was telling some of those things that I learned doing international business, because every country has its own culture, period. And probably different regions and different, everyone has their own kind of style or way of doing business. So I would research, and I wanted to be an effective communicator, and I wanted to help, increase the sales and marketing of the records that I was representing for the record label. So I learned a lot of tricks because I traveled quite a bit over the 3 years that I had that job. And then, of course, after I left that, I did that for 4 years. Another company hired me, a new company, a startup, and that only lasted about a year. And then I started my own company, and I still do that, doing international, well, it's digital. I mean, at the time we sold CDs, but now it's just all digital. So anyway, I learned a lot from doing all that. So that's what I'll be speaking about at the colleges, kind of sales and marketing. And also with Dr. Lao, he's teaching a class this year about leisure time, because he's also does sports marketing as one of his kind of majors. So obviously people watch sports during their leisure time. So he's doing a study on leisure time. So basically it'll be I'm not really going to be a speaker. It'll be more of a question and answer time with the students. I mean, maybe a little setup, an introduction, they interview me just a little bit, but the majority of the time what we're wanting is basically to do a Q&A, question and answer with the students. So I'm actually looking forward to that very much. So going back to, so I started doing the live streams in China, and my idea was always to do a live stream from here in my living room, because I have to fix this. I probably won't do it in front of the window next time, because you can see it kind of washes out. But I'm learning, if you got any of you guys that have seen any of my live streams, I'm always kind of just learning, trying to figure things out. But so today, my agenda was going to be that I was gonna tell you a little story about this guitar and how I first learned how to play guitar and a little bit about my beginnings. So I was gonna tell you a story, but I wound up enjoying talking to you so much. So I think I'm about done. The last, I don't know, and I couldn't go back. I try to always keep it under an hour, but right now I'm kind of liking the 15-minute thing, just kind of a check in with you, say hi, and then try to be a little more consistent because I just wasn't in the mental place to do live streams the last a couple months. But I started yesterday, and it was Ari was we were driving. I was driving with Ari, and it was so fun that I said, okay, I got to do this some more. So anyway, I want you guys to know that hopefully I'll see you very soon, hopefully tomorrow. And if not, I'll see you soon, and for sure, I'll start doing live streams again if I can when I'm in China. But I'll start filming edited videos as well. I don't know if I'll do any edited videos here in the States before I go, but I'll probably try to chronicle the trip to China. But anyway, just want to say I love you guys, and I hope to see, well, I will see some of you soon. I'll see you in China. And then the rest of you guys, hopefully I'll see tomorrow or the next day on a live stream right here. Same time, same place. Love you. Okay, bye-bye.